This is Operation B, the podcast about living with intention, building what feels true, and dropping the things that don't. A place where purpose meets practice. I'm Jamie Thurber, your host, and together we'll explore how to live with clarity, freedom, and alignment without burning out or losing yourself, because it's time to be who you're meant to be. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Operation B. I'm Jamie Thurber, your host. Thank you for being here with me. We definitely took an unexpected break. If you're a follower of the show and there was a break, life happened. And so one of the things I realized during all of that was how far I have come physically and emotionally. I don't even know if emotionally is the right word. I think it's more of like my nervous system regulation in the past than where I was a year ago. So we're going to dive into that. So right now it's February. January 2026 was wild. It was a wild ride. And I realized that a lot of people's was that way. A lot of people had that experience, unfortunately. You know, a lot of us, I think, were like, yes, 25, we're leaving all the craziness in that year and we get, a fresh slate. Well, it hasn't gone that way, and I could go down the rabbit hole into like astrology and the Chinese New Year and all these things. Look it up if you'd like, what happens on February 17th. But the kicker is, or the main piece for this conversation is that a lot of people had really wild, not pleasant Januaries. If you did, comment below wherever you're watching or listening and let us know, because holy moly. You were not alone. You are not alone. So basically what happened for me was that my mom had her knee replaced January 5th. And so I had planned on that week being, not the norm. So that Monday I did my coaching or my team meeting call from the hospital while I was waiting while she was in surgery with my dad, and everything went well and she was good. The next day, she'll just keep you overnight for that. The next day, a bunch of things that are very personal with my parents, I'm not going to say, happened, and I had to jump into stress relief or put the fire out mode, and we got it handled, but it was definitely unexpected, elevation, unexpected emotional management that I had to take care of. And then I got sick. I got the influenza. I kept saying, I got the Influenza A. It got me, which really sucked because Tuesday, the day after my mom's surgery, was a dinner event that I had been planning for 6 months for the barbecue sauce team. And I tried that day to bring myself back to life, and it just didn't work. So luckily, one of the players' wives or soon-to-be wives knows that company well. She was going to come work the event with me anyway. Thank God I'm an organized person, and I was able to give her everything we needed to pull it off, and it went well. And I got this very sweet video from the guys. One of the guys' girlfriends sent it to me of them talking about me, and I cried, and it was a beautiful moment. If you guys didn't know this, if you have SSM, I think it is, yeah. It was My Mercy. Through my doctor's office on the app, I was able to do a virtual appointment with a doctor within 15 minutes and got diagnosed and got what I needed medication-wise. Anyway, what really went wild, it wasn't that I was sick. Was it annoying? Sure. But it was everything that happened after that. So to spare you, again, you guys know me, I tell you all the details. Part of these are not my details. So needless to say, some stuff happened. My mom and dad also both got the flu. So obviously somewhere we were at the hospital got us all sick. So dad's sick, mom's home. Dad's not, he can't hear without his hearing aids in. There's a whole bunch of stuff that occurred on mom's first night home. And she wound up calling an ambulance for herself the next day because she couldn't think straight. She thought she was dehydrated, all these things. Turns out she was just very sick with the flu. And yes, she was dehydrated. So she goes, I get a call, I miss it, and then I can't find my mom. I'm like, she's not answering the phone. My dad didn't even know she left because he was so out of it. And she just got to the hospital. Anyway, my aunt helped a ton. And needless to say, my mother wound up leaving that day. Tony got her, brought her to my house. Once I found out she also had influenza, I felt much more confident in having her come and stay with me. And so luckily I purposely keep my house a certain way to where if somebody needs a place to sleep, I have a bed ready for them. It's a privilege that I have, and I take it seriously. It's close to my heart. And so I was able to move a couple things because she had a walker because of her knee surgery. And, she came in and we were able to get everything rolling. And it was fine. And while my mom is very easy and to deal with, meaning she's not like a ton of work by any means, I was not in my regular routine. I was also still sick. My dad was sick at home. My brother was helping, trying to get him to do what he needed to do. He didn't do what he needed to do. By the end of that week, he had made 2 visits to the ER, the second one getting him admitted. So he was in the hospital for a couple of weeks and then went to a rehabilitation hospital for acute therapy and was there for a week and a day, I think, and then he finally went home. So that was literally the entire month of January was a lot of feelings. So it was emotions of feeling comfort when my dad went to the hospital and then feeling outrage because of the care that he wasn't receiving. Feeling comfort because the doctor would finally talk to us and provide us with answers, and then they didn't do any of the things that they said they do, or the insurance company was fighting us on everything. So just the overall management of those items. You guys know that I'm running 3 companies, and it's a lot. I will say, side note, I do now have help. I finally have got it into a situation where I have multiple amazing women that have joined the team, and we're going to rock and roll. And then my show will go on. Thank God. We will not be stopping anymore. Damn it. Because as always, when something happens and I'm barely holding on, this becomes, I have to, right? My own things become on the back burner, and we all do that. But here's the important part. I had 30 days. My mom was at my house for 4 weeks, staying at my house. I had to take her, do her appointments. Her therapist was coming here, all those things. Take her to go see my dad because she couldn't drive, and all this stuff for 4 weeks. And then during that time, I was very exhausted. I got very angry, which is a normal reaction, I think, when you live in a country that people claim is so great. And then like healthcare is just a fight. Like, I'll tell you what, without getting too much on my soapbox, if I didn't have the kind of job that I have where I can be flexible, my father would have not received the care that he needed. And it just makes me think about how many people in this country or in the world don't have the flexibility that I have, and how their own health and their family's health suffer because we've just made it so hard. And my dad is a retired auto worker, so he has stellar insurance. So even with some of the best insurance possible, it was still a fight. And I'm just like, I had to go outside and like yell a couple times. I'm not going to lie, through my phone one of the times, because I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And then I was like, wow, I haven't done that in like 5 years. But here's the deal. Having emotions is not unhealthy. It's actually the opposite. You need to have emotions. Hiding them down is the problem. And that's the piece where what I'm all getting to here. There's a point. The point is that I was managing my normal stuff. I had to, in the moment, kind of do triage and decide what needed my attention most as far as the companies go. But I'd say I was able to do like a dedicated hour, maybe 2 each day for 30 days of work. And it just is what it is. Here's the deal. There was a time, even not too long ago, that I would have hurt myself immensely to work all night long, to overextend, to do things that I thought I had to do to make everything flow. When in the reality, is that more ideal? Sure. But is it though? Like, Or is that the parts of me that think I must operate at a certain level that are saying that? It's everything is fine. Are some things behind? Yeah, maybe people are mad. I don't know, but I was just very honest with everyone. Hey, yes, I do owe you that thing. I've been out for 30 days dealing with parents having surgery and being in the hospital sick and all these things, and I'm getting caught up. And realistically, February 11th, I'm still getting caught up. I'm still getting, my hands around things. There are still things on the plate that need to be done that were due weeks ago. But here's the reality. Sometimes we don't have an option. Point blank, end of story, black and white. We don't have an option. Is it ideal? No. Does it work well for us? No, probably not. But that's according to whose standards, right? Does it work well for us according to the standards of the workforce or like the industrial whatever 40-hour work week? Or is it the fact that I did not fall down, I did not throw up, I did not have any panic attacks, my body did not freak out? As soon as I said that, I got very lightheaded. My body was like, hold on, are we okay? We're okay. Presencing moment, guys. When you start to feel awkward or uncomfortable, presence. Remember that your feet are touching the ground. Where is gravity? I can feel it on my butt and my legs where they're touching my seat. I'm in a room. There are plants there. I will tell you what, this being down is bugging the shit out of me. This plant, for those of you who are listening, I have a crawling vine plant on my desk or my bookshelf behind me. And it was laying drooped instead of across. And it's been bugging me the entire time I've been talking because I could see it in the background. So presencing is important to bring you back into the whoa, because our body doesn't know the difference. When we say things like those words I just used, panic attacks, throwing up, body freaking out, feeling unstable, hurting myself by working all night long. These are all fear-based reactions from my body. Me being sick for as long as I was created quite a bit of trauma in my system. And that's just the reality. Is it ideal? No. Is it sometimes I still feel very dramatic for even saying that, but it's just the truth of what happened. And so when I've learned that I have to listen here first, and I'm pointing to my chest, pointing to my body. When I've learned that and I actually practice it, everything is different. When I got to finally talk to my coach last week, I think it was, and I filled her in on everything that had happened. She was like, oh my God, that is so much. And the fact that you are in the state that you're in is huge. So back in the day when this show was called the Lifestyle Creation Podcast, we'll find the original episode and put the link below because it's one of my absolute favorites. I've written blog posts about it. I've referenced it 1,000 times, and it's called This Is Why We Practice. Why we practice. And there were many moments where I'm in the middle of absolute and utter insanity. And let me tell you, when I say my dad was sick, side note, he had double pneumonia. He was dealing with some medication imbalances and his body was completely panicking. He was hallucinating. He had a lot of, it was not just the flu. It was severe, scary, uncertain, no answers, what's going on, tons of tests for weeks. It wasn't until the last 7 or 8 days of his stay that we were no longer in a complete heightened state the whole time because we didn't know what the hell was happening with him. So when I say that I'm in the midst of utter torture chaos, that's what I mean. And so I'm trying to hold this situation and determine what to do. And there was a moment where we thought that they were going to send him home before he needed to come home. And I'm over here going, okay, how the hell am I going to deal with this? Do I bring them to my house and we set up nurse visits here? Do I go stay in my old bedroom at their house, which would have been really terrible for me? I've become quite the bed snob. I need my bed and my dogs and my things to be comfortable. All of these things. Anyway, there was a lot of triage going on, a lot of management of other people's emotions. My mom has a very large family. She is one of 14 children. So when something is wrong, that's a lot of people to call and update on a regular basis. My dad has 4 siblings. So that's also not a small amount of people with all their kids and family. So luckily, mom took her siblings, I took dad's, and I just did a group chat, and it was much easier to keep everybody updated and like get them, calling him and stuff. My mom and dad have never been apart that long in their entire lives. They met when they were 14 or 15, and they've been together ever since. They're 67 years old, and so they were apart for a month. That's the first time that's ever happened. So then again, add in that layer, right? Like, it was so fucking much, you guys. And this is why we practice. We practice because when things happen that we have no control over, that aren't technically managed, let's also be real. Women that have a tendency to, hypervigilance. There it is. We become hypervigilant, right? When women who have conditioned themselves based on their external situations to be hypervigilant, it is very, very common for when that happens, like, we want to manage all the details because that's the only way that we think we can survive. I didn't do that. I did it in the times that it mattered, and in the other times I surrendered and said, you know what? I'm going to listen. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to act where it's necessary, because there were times where I'm like, I am not rescheduling my therapy. I am not rescheduling that doctor's appointment for myself. I'm not rescheduling blah, blah, blah thing. And then that moment would come, or that day would come, and we would have like 2 hours to deal with case managers before the building closed and blah, blah, blah. And the reality was, in that moment, the only intelligent choice I really had was canceling my thing and handling what needed to happen for my dad, right? It just is what it is. And because I was able to notice where it was supportive for me to do that versus where it was destructive to me, it worked. And again, how do I know that? I've spent years creating and cultivating an ability to listen. I did not listen to my body before like 4 years ago, at all, guys. At all. Ignored it. It has taken me this long to learn to listen to cues like hunger, wildly enough. Listen to cues like, you need to sit down. That's too much. Like I just did here in real time with you. And I was like, whoa, we got to get back in this room and remember that we're in a body and look at plants and look around, because my head went whoop. So I practice those things every day, and it's even kind of hard to explain. And what I mean by practice is that I'm honoring the workload, but I'm beginning to honor, and I have been honoring what truly needs to be managed and what I need to put my hands up about. Because before, I managed every little teeny tiny detail. Those of you who've been here with me for a long time, you're very aware of this. I used to talk about it all the time, and we called it superhuman productive. And there was a price I paid for that. There's a price you paid for that, no doubt. I think that we all evolve, and I think those of you who've been with me for a long time, we're evolving together. These are things we didn't know then. Maybe we didn't have the capacity or the ability to know those things, but now we do, right? So we practice every day, and we question things, and we're curious, and we lean in and say, why did I feel that way? What happened that made blah, 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 right? Like those pieces of the puzzle, we do that because we've got to learn here. And if we can't listen to ourselves and learn what the hell is actually going on within our own little inner world here, then we can't operate at an optimum place. We can't allow space. We can't find safety. We can't exhale. And those are all the things that we have to learn to be able to do to emotionally regulate. If we can emotionally regulate, we can lead in beautiful ways. We can touch other people's lives in a way that helps them but doesn't harm us. We can do so much more when we've allowed this exchange, I guess you can call it, to happen. So I really today wanted to pop on and just give you an update, but also let you know, while yes, it was insane and I'm not jazzed about the fact that it went down that way. I'm like, I had so many things to do and now I have more things to do, but it is what it is. Like, we're getting it done. I just wanted to share that with you because I feel like it's wildly important and I don't hear people saying that enough. So that is what I got for you today. And as always, thank you for being here and for listening. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to put them below, or you can always reach out to me at jamiethurber.com. And make sure you're subscribed and you leave a review if you haven't already, and share this with someone that you think could benefit from it. Something little note, we have brought on 2 partners with the Operation B show. So we have been working with Premium Kitchen and Bath for quite a while. You may have seen me talk about them on my social media accounts. But Premium Kitchen and Bath is an amazing company. It's family owned and operated. It's a couple that own it, and they've created this beautiful family within that as well. And their passion is helping make your home renovations in your kitchen and bath easier and beautiful. And their vision is amazing. They helped us with the kitchen studio that we have at Trueline, as I'm sure you've seen it. But we'll link an episode below of me showcasing the kitchen. So you can check that out, but all their information will be below in the show notes. And then Spas and More, we've been working with on other shows that I managed for a while, and being able to partner with them has also been fun because they're also a family owned and operated company in St. Louis, and they specialize in master spas. They have hot tubs, saunas, cold plunges, and swim spas. So you'll be learning more about them along the way with our show. So please be, understanding and welcoming to seeing little clips that have information about those companies. And if those are things that you need, please make sure that you click through and give them a follow. If you also like really beautiful kitchen and bath photos, or you like really beautiful landscaping, yardscapes, follow them both on social media because they post beautiful content all the time. So big thank you to both of those sponsors, and we will see all of you next time. Thank you. I used to think hot tubs were just for fancy vacations or luxury houses. But then I met Angie at Spas and More, this family-owned and operated business right here in St. Louis. She showed me how these master spas aren't just luxurious, they're about wellness. I actually got to try one out in their showroom, and it made me realize how much better I feel after a soak. If you want to experience what actually fits your lifestyle, go see Angie and her team in Sunset Hills. It's like test driving your own wellness. Visit Spas and More in Sunset Hills or online at spasandmorestl.com. Thank you for listening to Operation B, the podcast. To support this message and to support the show, please make sure that you like, follow, and share wherever you enjoy listening. And be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. That's the way to support this message. Thank you for being here, and see you next time.